In opener 10, we're doing a similar thing to the last two, but now we're trying to recognize patterns going backwards. So again, to form the x squared, we need an x in front. We need to get a negative 25 in back while not having a middle term. So that means minus 5. Again, x plus 5, x minus 5 gives me the difference of two squares, that being 5 squared and x squared. So likewise, you should start to recognize the pattern. The first one I'll do out again. So this is x squared plus x minus x minus 1, which is just x squared minus 1. Again, the difference of squares. This is the difference of x squared minus 1 squared. The next one, difference of squares, so I recognize it, and so it just is x squared minus 100. This next one's a little tricky, but it's just the first squared minus the second squared when you have exactly the same items, but one is plus and one is minus. So 2x squared, quantity squared, minus 7 squared, which is just 4x squared minus 49. The rationalized one, again, to solve this we're going to need to use the conjugate. And the conjugate basically allows us to get it into a difference of two squares. Remember, we don't want a square root there. So, and we can't just multiply by root 3 over root 3 because we get 5 root 3 over, we have to distribute the root 3 minus 3. So we still haven't gotten the square root off the bottom. But knowing what we know about difference of two squares, if I multiply top and bottom by 1 plus the square root of 3, 1 plus the square root of 3, on the bottom I now get, it's the difference of two squares, right? So I end up getting 1 squared minus root 3 squared, which I know, when I'm taking the square root and squaring it, that I end up getting rid of the square root. So the bottom ends up being 1 minus 3. The top I just distribute the 5 in, and I get 5 plus 5 root 3. And so this ends up being 5 plus 5 root 3 over negative 2. So in order to rationalize a binomial like this with a square root in it, you use this idea of difference of squares in order to get the square root off the bottom.